Welcome to the Home Health Minute, your monthly podcast brought to you by the Home Health section of the American Physical Therapy Association. Hosted by Troy Mead. Hey everyone, this is our second part with Nikki Gilroy. If you missed our first part, don't forget to go back and listen to that. In this part, we talk more about her and her group's upcoming talk at CSM. So without further ado, here we go. So how do you think the home health clinician will benefit from going to the talk as well?
So the clinician, I feel, you guys, those are the ones going out there, seeing the patients. Theoretically, so to speak, you guys are the ones making the decisions on when to treat, when not to treat. Obviously, as a leader, we have to help them understand new regulations, what it is currently, problem solve with them. But I'm hoping to make it more comfortable for them to feel their ability to document that, as well as be able to, feel more comfortable about what medical necessity is, what skilled, PT is, and how to be able to better put that on paper.
One of the things I think is kind of neat about this, and, I think it's kind of, I think it's more unique to the home health section, that now you have this tool in your hands, and a lot of the times I know there's different learners out there for people. Some people are more hands-on, some more are more experienced. And a lot of the times, at least I find, some of those people, when they may understand something, they listen, they get the tool, they go through it, and then at the end of the day, they kind of have these questions. You might have this question that you really can't get answered because it's just, because you're just stuck with a piece of paper. But now there's this talk. This seems like this almost supplements the tool itself. So you can come and ask if you have a question about the tool. You have the experts that made the tool there that you can kind of ask the question. Is that kind of how you talk as well?
Yes. Yeah. I'm hoping, we're going to flesh out more of the outline later on, but I'm hoping to have more of a panel Q&A at the end, at least to be able to address any specific questions. If clinicians were out there having trouble hearing certain myths or wondering why, that's the value of, being part of the home health section or being able to go to CSM, is to be able to ask some of those leaders. And I'm proud to be standing next to some of these people on here because, some of them do consulting, some of them, are, even higher leaders in their organization. And some of them have been through, 100% audits, like I stated, things along those lines that kind of add that value. And, some of us are a little scared of that situation. So I think, being able to talk to those going through some of the things we're either scared of or going through currently, I think helps. And we don't all have the answers, but I think, having some of these tools, seeing what's out there, what other people are experiencing in different states. And then, depends upon even the auditor you get who looks at the documentation, what they might be thinking about, whether or not that passed, medical necessity, skill need, and homebound. Those are the first three after the face-to-face or the 485, the plan of care that they look at. So that's kind of our thoughts. Strengthening us as a therapy, I think it's going to be huge and kind of our need and value.
I think from an auditor point of view, this stuff is the beginning of the chart, and if this isn't there, then nothing else kind of matters at that point when they're looking at the documentation. If there's not that homebound status or that homebound justification, or there's not that medical necessity laid out.
They're going to go further.
That's right.
Right there. It doesn't matter how well you did or got them to be able to do X, Y, Z at the end of it. Unfortunately, it's like they just check those boxes, and if it doesn't fit, it's an easy way of denial.
Yeah.
So, and I feel the same with my, even my clinicians. A lot of them are going out trying to do their best care, evidence-based stuff, But unfortunately, if we're not good with putting it into our EMR, or even our EMR is lacking something, it can lead to a lot of difficulty and denial. So
yeah,
hopefully we can prevent some of that.
exactly. Because I think I'm with you and everybody else that thinks that therapy in home health creates a unique value that we have. And on that value side, it's really important for our patients to get that. And this medical necessity and being able to lay it out and homebound really is the, like I said, the starting point. But if you don't have that laid out, you can't provide the care that, and show that value that you actually have. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I'm lucky to be a home health clinician and practice this. And I think it's one of the best settings. I might be biased, but it definitely is one of the best settings, I think, where we can make functional gains, get people doing what we should. And I think all of us should write a book about some of this stuff. Maybe we'd be valued a little bit more. Some days when you read some of the regs, I don't feel that value, but, it really speaks to it. I think even the therapy in general, our last proposed regulations, what the proud moment for me was that so many PTs, OTs, speech therapists commented on the 2018 proposed regulations that they even commented about it in this proposed regulations that came out 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, whatever it was. And that was a proud moment for me, that there are so many people who love home health, and what we do. And there was a lot of concern about the new model that they might be going towards. So, that makes me feel like there's a lot of people behind us. There's a lot of us who love this job. And unfortunately, just like every other healthcare job, we have to be able to prove that worth, which comes down to those couple things, at least, in the sense of, was that visit billable? But yes, I do agree about that. I think too, I think a lot of the stuff lately is the ICF model. And I know that we strongly kind of paired that in here as well. I think there is some resource documents on the ICF model for those who are not familiar with it, but we do utilize that in our decision trees or the algorithm. And I think that is something of value. We don't yet do that at my agency fully. I think my sister agency or another branch, I think they might be implementing that in the documentation system we may be going to. But I think that's another thing that has been eye-opening to me, but something in the past, quite a few years, it seems to be more agencies are going towards the ICF model, is to prove that medical need and looking at the different pieces of what affects your plan of care, basically.
Mm-hmm. So with the talk that's coming up, what's the most exciting topic that you get to talk about? I know we've listed a lot of stuff, so.
I know.
Where's your passion? Yeah.
Where's my passion? So, fortunately, I am the regulations dork. I'm kind of, since I led this group, I'm more or less doing the intro, so I guess my part will be kind of boring, the history. But what I'm looking forward to, just because I do love to read regs, I love regulations, so to speak, reading them, is basically probably Ellen's piece. The Med A, Med B, she's going to talk about some of the regulatory stuff, but that's because that's what my love is. I think it's a rare thing, but when the proposed rule came out, I'm like, texting Ken, texting coworkers, trying to read 600 pages, highlighting it. Not probably normal, but that stuff like that feeds me.
Well, to that point, I think we all need some of the, we all need that regulatory geek, someone has to read it and get it down to everybody else, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have other people who's like, well, I read the, the statement that came out. I'm like, no, but that doesn't give you all the stuff. The good stuff is inside of there.
Yeah, I try to get through as much as I can before my eyes start glossing over.
Yeah.
And
I know. I hear you with that one. I do skip some parts. Usually it's the budgeting financial end. I want a financial expert to tell me that piece. All the rest, all into it.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered yet that we may have missed about the talk or the tool?
No, I don't think so. I know we named everyone involved. I'm hoping that people will come out, bring questions. I think the more engaged everyone is, the better. It's not about interventions for certain things, but I think it'll be an important talk, to be had, especially in the environment that we may or may not have, but continues to happen, probes and audits and all of that other fun stuff. So here's hoping for a good CSM 2019, right?
That's right. Well, I'm definitely interested in it. I think it's needed, and I think it is something that every home health clinician will benefit from, that they can't really, that's not easily accessible somewhere else. I could take another class somewhere on some different intervention or technique or something like that. That's usually pretty readily accessible, but for someone to feed me rules and regulations that I don't have to read something and my eyes gloss over, or that is really just like we talked about before, just as important as what at the beginning, getting that right, so what you do is successful and adds value to your patients.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm very excited.
I would agree. I agree. I hope everyone will be excited for all that stuff as much as we are on the panel.
So if you're as excited as I am, make sure you come to your talk, or come to this talk by Nikki and the crew, and come see Jamie and his kilt and everybody else.
Yep, we'll be excited to have everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Home Health Minute, the podcast from the Home Health section of the American Physical Therapy Association. Check out our website at www.homehealthsection.org. There you can find links to this episode, tons of helpful resources for your practice, and how to connect with us on social media. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.